Shalom. Proverbs 23. When you sit down to eat with a ruler, look well what is before you, and put a knife to your throat. If you are a man given to appetite, do not desire his delicacies, for that food is deceptive. Fingers work. Okay. Let's see. Do not labor to be rich. Cease from your own understanding. Do you set your eyes on that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away like an eagle to the heavens. Do not eat the bread of one have an evil eye, nor desire his delicacies. For as he reckons in his life, so he is. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. You vomit the pieces you have eaten, and lose your sweet words. Do not speak in the ears of a fool, for he treads on the wisdom of your words. Do not move the ancient boundary, and do not enter the field of the fatherless, for their Redeemer is strong. He shall plead their cause against you. Bring your heart to discipline, and your ears to the words of knowledge. Do not withhold discipline from a child. If you strike him with a rod, he does not die. Strike him with a rod, and deliver his being from Sheol. My son, your heart shall be wise. My heart rejoices, even I, and my kindness exults. When your lips speak what is straight, do not let your heart envy sinners, but be in the fear of Yahweh all day long. For certain there is a hereafter, and let your can't speak this morning. And let your expectancy not be cut off. Hear, my son, and be wise, and guide your heart in the way. Be not among heavy drinkers of wine, or with gluttonous eaters of meat. For the drunkard and the glutton become poor, and slumber puts rags on a man. Listen to your father who brought you forth, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Buy the truth, and do not sell it, wisdom and discipline and understanding. The father of the righteous greatly rejoices, and he who brings forth a wise one delights in him. Let your father and your mother rejoice, and let her who bore you exult. My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes watch my ways. For a whore is a deep pit, and a strange woman is a narrow well. She too lies in wait as for prey, and incense, and treacherous, and for increase. Gosh, I am struggling this morning, guys. Caffeine is indicated. And a strange woman is a narrow well. She too lies in wait as for a prey, and increases the treacherous among men. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has contention? Who has complaints? Who feels hurt without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Those staying long at the wine, those going in to search out mixed wine. Do not look on the wine when it is red, when it gives its color in the cup, as it flows smoothly. In the end it bites like a snake, and stings like an adder. Your eyes look on strange women, and your heart speaks perversities. And you shall be as one lying down in the midst of the sea, and as one lying at the top of the mast, saying, They struck me, I was not sick. They beat me, I did not know. When shall I wake up? Let me seek it again. Okay. I thought I got good sleep last night, but I woke up pretty early in the morning, then I went back to sleep. Now I'm awake again. Oh, man. Yesterday was a long day. And I really don't want to get up, but I gotta get up, so. Yeah. Short commentary. Let me go backwards here. So I think one of the biggest warnings in here is the strange women. For a whore is a deep pit. Men out there, I know we all struggle with it. In today's society, a lot of women have decided to go with the flaunt my body, all that stuff. We've become such a promiscuous society on both sides, and you know what? The internet has really increased that. The easy access to pornography has really increased that, and I am no saint. Struggled with it for a long time. Still struggle with it sometimes. Not as much as I used to. And that's something that has been very openly talked about in our marriage, my marriage with my wife, as she knows. Especially when I drive a truck and I'm away from home for a long time, it gets increasingly difficult, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing this, actually, is to stay in my word. I think Yah is reminding me, because there are days, and sometimes we don't live up to them, to the expectations that we set for ourselves, and it's so easy to look. It's honestly, it's crazy, because it's like you're not even looking for it sometimes, and sometimes it's just Facebook, and bam, all of a sudden, you got those random posts of these strange women. And it is like a drunkenness. It is like a wine, it's like what that's describing here is like, you'll go through this crap and you'll feel like, oh man, like, why do I keep doing this, and why do I keep going back to it? And it's because it's an addiction, just like any other kind of addiction. So we have to be careful. And my thing is, I would say, find a good wife, raise a family, and focus on what matters most. But that doesn't mean we're not going to be tempted. So we have to work on that, and we have to make sure that we stay strong in that. No looking for loopholes. Let's see. Do not withhold discipline from a child. We need that in our society so much today. We need strong parents, not to beat their children, but to not be afraid to swat them on the butt. To provide a little bit of, hey, that's not okay, kind of, attitude. We have become such a, affirmation, affirm your child, yada, this hippie stuff that was really starting to take serious hold when I was a young kid. Everyone gets a trophy, and now look at the generation that has come out of that. Look at the millennials who are raised by that everyone gets a trophy mentality. Look at what's going on now in our society, where everyone feels entitled to their ways, to their own things. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand, like, how people can justify it sometimes. They're just like, well, my kid, they get to do this because they're so special. It's just like, no. Your kid does not get to scream and yell and throw a tantrum. It's one thing that we're going through with my daughter right now, is she's at that, my middle daughter, she's at that age where she's stomping her feet, and she's, saying no if she doesn't get her way. And I'm just like, baby, I love you, but come here. We're not gonna do that. And it's like, it's not, you can't just do the punishment and then not explain You have to talk with them and be like, hey, I'm not spanking you on the bottom because I'm being mean. I'm doing this because it's a correction. And, you need to understand that that's not okay. It's not acceptable in our society. But Lord help us if we actually, use the rod. And in here, this is much, it's like use a rod. It's like, I don't even use a rod. So, it's like we need our children to understand, do not withhold discipline from the child. If you strike him with a rod, he does not die. Strike him with a rod and deliver his being from Sheol. It's so important that we teach our children, the importance of life. We teach them right from wrong. We teach them the word and not the world. And, we don't punish in anger. We don't punish in rage. We may be upset, and as my wife points out, maybe that's not the best time right then in that moment. Maybe we need to do some instructive cleanup first, or whatever, help clean up, and then we talk about it, and maybe there is a punishment down the road. But we always explain what's going on. We don't just boom, because I think that's the other opposite, because you can do that wrong, and people do that wrong. Let's see, going up. Do not move the ancient boundary, and do not enter the field of the fatherless. So there's this idea, right, of Israel. The tribes had their inheritance. Their set lands that was supposed to be for them. And there were boundaries set up, right? And so we shouldn't be seeking after each other's stuff. We should be trying to set up our own, through our own work, we should be trying to set up our own fields and our own boundaries. We shouldn't be trying to take our neighbor's boundary. We shouldn't be trying to move it so that ours increases greatly. And we shouldn't be taking away things from people who are, less fortunate. We should be, there should be no poor among you. That's something that Messiah wanted us to really take to heart, is in a true Christian society, everyone has an inheritance. And there shall be no poor among you, which means everyone has their needs met. Which means when you're doing well, you help provide for others. Now, that's not socialism. That's not like, oh, I have to. That's a heart condition. But we should be a community that's willing to give, that's willing to make sure that everyone is doing well when we're doing okay. So anyways, there's that. Well, my dearest is calling me, so I'm going to have to end it right now. But anyways, you guys have a great day. Shalom.